I want to thank you all for joining me today as Wisconsin takes a historic step to become a national transportation leader. I have long believed that passenger rail is the missing link in our national transportation policy. And today we are embarking on a new era of passenger rail service that creates high-skilled jobs, spurs economic growth, and makes travel safe and comfortable. It is really great to be here today to announce that the state of Wisconsin has entered into an agreement with the Spanish train manufacturer, Talgo, and I want to extend a warm welcome to the company representatives who have joined us here in Madison. This historic agreement calls for the state of Wisconsin to purchase 2 Talgo train sets and for Talgo rail car assembly and maintenance facilities in the United States to be established here in Wisconsin. For almost 20 years, the state of Wisconsin has directly supported passenger rail service from Milwaukee to Chicago. And in recent years, this line has grown tremendously. The new passenger rail cars our workers build will be put into operation on the popular Amtrak Hiawatha service that provides daily service between Milwaukee and Chicago. The Hiawatha service ranks among the top in ridership increases and on-time performance of any of Amtrak's intercity passenger rail services. Despite falling gas prices, last year's ridership reached a record high with more than 766,000 riders. That's a 24% increase over 2007. The new train sets we are buying today will replace aging cars on the Hiawatha line. They will add critical safety features, increase capacity to accommodate more riders, lower fuel costs, and provide a comfortable, modern ride for passengers. Each train set will consist of 14 cars with a capacity of 420 passengers, 70 more than the Hiawatha's current capacity, helping to alleviate standing room only crowds that have become more and more frequent as the train's popularity has increased. This agreement did not happen overnight. It is the result of many people in Wisconsin and in Spain working together. In February, I toured several Talgo facilities in Spain, traveled by rail to Madrid, Malaga, and Bilbao. And I can't wait for Midwestern travelers to experience firsthand the comfort, modern amenities, and expanded seating capacity on these wonderful trains. You see a dramatic picture of one here. But for any of you who have had the opportunity to actually ride one or have talked to someone who has ridden on one, I think you will find absolutely universal acclaim for the quality of these trains, the comfort of this service. This really is moving passenger rail service here in the Midwest from the mid-20th century into the 21st century. And not only will Wisconsin residents be able to enjoy state-of-the-art passenger rail, we will also create jobs for hard-working families. Wisconsin has the very best workers in the world, and I am proud that we are teaming with Talgo, one of the world's most innovative and forward-looking companies, to invest in the state's long-term growth. These facilities will use Wisconsin workers and their skills to perform final assembly and maintenance on the new Talgo passenger trains. The 2 facilities are expected to create about 80 jobs for Wisconsin workers based on the purchase of the first 2 trains. But we expect real growth in this area. Many other states are looking to expand their passenger rail service. And as part of this agreement, Wisconsin will be in line to service and assemble Talgo trains purchased by other United States in the future. I have been working very hard to move forward and work with federal and international partners to move Wisconsin into a new era of passenger rail service. In January, I testified before the U.S. Transportation Committee to advocate for the inclusion of rail in the recovery package. and I have continued to meet with Vice President Biden and Secretary LaHood and others to bring high-speed rail to the Midwest in general, to Wisconsin in particular, and for us to compete for the $8 billion in American Recovery and Reinvestment Act funds for high-speed passenger rail. Today's agreement with Talgo makes Wisconsin passenger rail projects shovel-ready and well-positioned to receive those federal funds. The agreement with Talgo also provides an option to buy 2 additional train sets if the state is successful in securing funds through the Federal American Recovery and Reinvestment Act to extend passenger rail service from Milwaukee to Madison. As many of you know, we have been working very hard on the extension of the improvement and upgrading of the line from Chicago to Milwaukee, and then building the line out to Madison, with its ultimate destination being the Twin Cities. This is part of a Midwest rail system initiative that all of the other states in the Midwest are working on together, understanding that we need a strong, integrated rail transportation system in the Midwest. And the link of Chicago, Milwaukee, Madison, and the Twin Cities is one that will bring enormous long-term economic growth to this region. A study of the 9-state Midwest regional rail system shows the full development of this regional high-speed rail system arrayed around Chicago will produce 57,450 new jobs, new permanent jobs, $4.9 billion in increased property values in the 102 cities that would ultimately be served by this initiative. One of the most noteworthy facts that when I visited Spain that I learned is that when they have gone to their great high-speed rail system, they track very carefully who the riders are. And they know that they have taken many people out of their automobiles into the train. And they have taken people who would otherwise would fly very short air hops out of the airplanes and into the trains. But in addition to that, they have found that there is 30% more travelers altogether than there were before the high-speed rail was in place. Just think of the increased economic activity that comes from that increased number of people traveling. We have seen, and those others who have visited Spain, that cities that were inaccessible in many ways to Madrid in the past, now by high-speed rail you can be there in a half an hour or 45 minutes, and it has brought huge economic development to those cities that were beyond the outskirts of Madrid in the past. We can do the same thing here in the Midwest and in Wisconsin to increase dramatically economic activity between the main cities of the Midwest. And we know that one of the most promising possibilities for growth is the Chicago 2006 Olympic bid. The Chicago Games is a tremendous opportunity to showcase to the world the Midwest and Wisconsin. And as many of you here know, that if Chicago wins the bid, and I know we've got a staunch competitor in Madrid, but if Chicago wins the bid, that the bicycling events will occur here in Madison. Imagine being able to get on a high-speed train in Chicago for all those Olympic visitors and to be able to come and see the biking events here in Madison. This is an opportunity for us, again, to showcase the whole Midwest. The future of passenger rail and our true commitment to it in Wisconsin is starting today. This contract with Talgo is historic. We will have people in Wisconsin assembling and maintaining the finest and most technologically advanced trains anywhere in the world. And in 2 years, we will have people in Wisconsin enjoying the comforts of these Talgo trains as they ride from Chicago to Milwaukee and Milwaukee to Chicago. And we hope within a year or two after that, they will be enjoying these trains as they ride from Milwaukee to Madison and Madison to Milwaukee. So I thank you all for being here, and I particularly thank our friends from Talgo that have been great partners. And I want you to introduce to you and to hear from Jose Maria Oriol and Antonio Perez, who have worked tirelessly with us to bring us to the moment that we can sign this contract and begin to move forward with high-speed, modern passenger rail service here in Wisconsin.